Have you ever wondered if everyone is capable of enlightenment, or is it just for the select few? Do you have to be a super special soul, or is every soul capable of experiencing enlightenment? Well, today I'm going to answer that question, and I have been searching for that answer for about 30 years in my own life, but I have it today. I'm Kerry Blaser, reincarnation of Mary Magdalene, the Divine Feminine. Please like and subscribe so my videos can reach more people. I share my free DIY trauma healing techniques with my free ebook below, and I already have a YouTube video with my meditation and shamanic drumming, which will help you transform all of your emotional wounds into personal wisdom. So let's get back into what is enlightenment. And I'm going to start with the map of consciousness from Dr. David R. Hawkins. He wrote the book Power versus Force. So let me share my screen and then we'll talk about what is enlightenment. Okay, so the map of consciousness. Let me scroll down just a second here so we can get to the top. As you'll see, the map of consciousness, if I can get this whole thing on the screen, it shows our full emotional range. Now, I have a master's degree in East Asian religious studies. Like, I speak Chinese. I learned classical Chinese to translate Taoist texts into English. I've lived in Chinese Buddhist monasteries, made friends with Buddhist nuns, Chinese Buddhist nuns who didn't speak English. And I went to UCSB, and no one ever mentioned that enlightenment is an emotion. It's like, whoa, okay. And why was I in a quest to figure it out? Now, I didn't know that was part of the reason I got my undergraduate and graduate degrees in East Asian religious studies, but I experienced enlightenment myself a year and a half ago. So here's what happened when I experienced enlightenment. I had been for about, 9 years actively processing my emotional pain, learning how to go into my fear, guilt, and shame, into my wounds, and then find the wisdom and come out the other end. And here's what I mean by find the wisdom, okay? So our wounds are in our subconscious, our shadow. So we're not aware of them until it's time to heal. Oh, wait, that's what's been causing all of my problems my whole life? So it was March of 2024, and I knew how to turn a wound into wisdom. I knew how to ask myself questions like, why can't I apologize to my daughter? And I had learned how to listen to myself when I heard that I believe that if I apologize, my loved ones will leave me. I'm like, well, that's not logical. If I apologize, she will want to stay. And there was the wound, the inverted wisdom, the subconscious lie. If I apologize, my loved ones will want to leave me. And then when I turned it into wisdom, then I knew that when I apologize, my loved ones will want to stay. And so that's the process. It's as simple as that. It's just you have to learn how to do it. So I sat down on my recliner and I started vibrating super high. And you can see here, 700 to 1,000 is enlightenment, and 20 at shame at the bottom. So what is that? So our souls are energy bodies, right? And our energy bodies vibrate at different frequencies. And these are all the different frequencies. So that's why when I sat down, I was vibrating super high, like zzz, 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 vibrating, not knowing what's happening because I was not yet aware that enlightenment is an emotion, okay? So the next morning, after barely sleeping, eating, drinking, like nothing, I'm sitting there, zzz, and I hear like an alarm in my head, enlightenment, enlightenment, enlightenment. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm at enlightenment. Okay, I had moved through all these different levels. I had learned how to go way down into my shame and way up into love and then way back down to shame and then up into peace and joy and compassion. And I've been raped and I found compassion for Andrew Tate through a personal relationship with his best friend, Justin Waller. Like, that's an accomplishment for a woman who's been raped, right? So So anyway, then I start seeing like epiphanies. Like I asked the universe, what do I need to learn? And I had a huge epiphany. And then I faced catastrophic fears of my children being raped. And it was gnarly, but those fears were in me. And I have talked to them, and that level that I was seeing, my internal fears, did not happen. But it took me a good, 6, 7 weeks to ground back into my body after that. So that happened. It was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I was vibrating so high, and I wasn't overweight at the time. It's like 5'5", going to yoga, hot yoga, 5, 6 days a week. Like, I was in shape. I lost 12 pounds just because I was vibrating so high, expending so much energy to transform my emotional wounds into personal wisdom. And we know through the laws of physics that the most highest vibrating energy is the most transformative. And I'll show you a physics experiment about that in a second. But let's get back to this chart and Dr. David R. Hawkins. So what I learned is like, okay, well, if shame is at 20 hertz, you can't just jump from 20 hertz to 1,000 hertz and expect the physical body to survive that. That's like heart attack. That's why you go into your fear, guilt, and shame a little bit, and then you come out a little bit, and you go in a little bit deeper, and you come out a little bit deeper. Like I started processing my emotional wounds in 2015, and then in 2019, I attempted suicide. Because why? You think, well, wouldn't you attempt when you're in so much pain? My soul has a plan for my life. My soul plans my life based on my wounds. So based on my wounds, I had to be able to go into my wounds and come out of my wounds to survive my suicide attempt. So my soul's plan was survival. And I'm a woman, and women often take medication, which is less deadly than using a gun, and men more often use a gun. And so men's suicide rates are actually lower than women, but the success rate is far higher, at 4 times higher than women. Because when men done, they use gun, they're done. So anyway, this chart, you can find it online, but it shows you all of the different emotions that are expressed through our souls, out through our hearts. And when someone experiences enlightenment, they open up what is shown here on the screen, attractor energy fields that influence all of mankind. Like it used to be, someone experiences enlightenment like Buddha, everyone wants to know what he or she has to say, And so and that's what I felt myself doing. Like every time I have an enlightenment experience, and it happens all the time for me now, it's like in my own home, I give a speech to the collective because now my soul is open and other souls respond to that because it's wisdom. And so they open to this wisdom. And then when they're ready to bring it into their waking reality, when they're ready to be conscious of this wisdom, then it will appear to them. So by my experiencing enlightenment, I am helping everyone else experience enlightenment. But let's keep going on and share a couple other things about what enlightenment is and how it can help everyone. Okay, so the fastest moving energy is our is the most transformative energy. And so I'm going to pull a laws of physics experiment out of, here, I'll share my screen, I'll show you. So I'm in my, the free ebook below called The 6 Divine Feminine Self-Love Strategies, and this is what it looks like. And it's 9 pages. It summarizes all the wisdom that I use to transform emotional wounds into personal wisdom, expanding my own emotional range to include enlightenment. Okay, so then, it's possible for everyone. I mean, it's part of every soul's natural emotional range, so it's possible for everyone to experience enlightenment. So then this is my first lesson, and you can go below and check out all the lessons, but I'm going to lesson number 5, saying changing the world is an inside job. And so here it is, changing the world inside job, and then here's the laws of physics experiment that that we use. But let me pull it up, and then I'm going to have to switch. I'm not an expert, okay. Okay, so I just do my best here. Spontaneous synchronization, and let me put it the whole screen, and here we go. So you're going to see that the second and third ones on the left are going to move the fastest. And because they move the fastest, they're the most transformative for the other three. So over a short bit of time, the other three will start going in the same speed as the two fastest ones. Now imagine those are all souls, okay? My soul is the fastest one. So when you spend time in my soul, you naturally align with my faster, more transformative energy, and you will get triggered. Your emotional wounds will come to the surface, but that is the process of how I'm helping you see your emotional wounds, and now you have an opportunity to turn them into wisdom. So let me go ahead and stop. You see, they're all going super fast, right? And that's the trick. So when you spend time in my ebook, which is linked, my free ebook linked below, or you listen to my meditation and shamanic drumming video, which I can also link that below, but it's in my YouTube channel, then you will be naturally helped by my higher transformative energy, my higher vibrating transformative energy. Like there's wisdom that says you are the summary of the 5 people you hang around the most, and that's because, of the energy of the soul. And Einstein proved it. He said that the field is the sole governing agency of the particle. The field being the energy field, like our souls, the particle being our body. Now I'm going to share a video by Dr. Joe Dispenza when he talks about this exact quote from Einstein. So let me share it. And, here we are. Here we go.
Einstein said the field, the wave, the energy is the sole governing agency of the particle. Energy controls matter. He didn't say particle controls the particle. He said the field controls the particle. If you change the information in the field, can you change the projection, the particle in three-dimensional reality? This is a holographic universe. So if the quantum field is an invisible field of energy that exists beyond our senses, beyond our body, our environment, and time, and the only way we are going to connect to it is take all of our attention off our body, all of our attention off the environment. What's the environment made of? People, objects, things, places, and take all of your attention off of linear time, the predictable future and the familiar past, and find the sweet spot, the generous present moment. That's the unknown. That's the door. That's the moment you become nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, no time. That is the moment you are pure consciousness. And that is the moment you're walking through the door to the quantum field. Einstein.
So what he's saying is that, let me stop sharing. Okay. What he's saying is that when you let go of everything outside of you, and you and yourself are in unison, and you learn to listen to yourself like I did when I learned to listen, then my subconscious said that I believe that if I apologize, my loved ones will leave me, and that lie in my subconscious had driven so many failures and so many relationships with my children, my husband, friends, across the board. Okay, so that in my soul, if I don't address it, it just exists. There's no time and space for that. There's no end. It's like when my soul is ready for me to learn that lesson, then I'll get it out of my soul. So the only way to change your consciousness, your energy, your wounds and wisdom is to change your soul. So my free ebook below teaches you how to operate your soul. Now, yes, I'm the reincarnation of Mary Magdalene. Last September, I had a huge enlightenment experience, and that was a second coming. And I had to be comfortable, start to say that self-love creates heaven on earth. Well, what is self-love? Self-love expands our emotional range naturally. We learn to love ourselves. We learn to go into our deeper, darker emotions and come out the other side. And through that whole process, I had to learn that if I want Mount Everest-sized wisdom, I had to take on Mount Everest-sized wounds, all based on the laws of physics. So if you check out my ebook below, go into the Learning to Surf the Waves of Life, and that tells you why you have to go into your emotions and come out of your emotions, because that's what makes energy fluctuates. And alive energy is fluctuating energy. When you get stuck in fear, that's a problem. You want to get stuck in enlightenment, but by the time you reach enlightenment, you'll know that you can't get stuck there. You have to go back into your fear if you want more wisdom. That's just one enlightenment experience. Then you go back into fear, and then you have another one, and then another one, and then another one. Okay, and that's how we all become more wise and more knowledgeable. So please check out my free ebook below and reach out if you have any questions. Please like and subscribe. I hope this was helpful for you. All right, take care. Bye.